Happy Wednesday, everybody. It's great to see you. I'm up here in the wave because today is Wednesday, and we should be having Anchor right now. But unfortunately, we cannot. So I decided to film today's Jesus Storybook Bible story video up here in the wave, wearing my Anchor shirt for you guys. And for you Sandbox kids who don't recognize this room, this is the wave. This is where you go once you've graduated up and you're old enough to be out of Sandbox. You come up here with the big kids where the wave is, and it's super awesome. So that's our intro for today. Today's Bible story is titled A New Way to See. And this story, man oh man, is beautiful. Blows me away. It's the story of Saul. He's this crazy, angry, mean guy, but Jesus turns his life around and uses him to do great and mighty things. So let's jump right in. Of all the people who kept the rules, Saul was the best. I'm good at being good, he'd tell people. He was very proud and very good, but he wasn't very nice. Saul hated anyone who loved Jesus. Yay! He traveled around looking for them. He wanted to catch them and put them in prison. He wanted everyone to forget all about Jesus. Wow, what a great start to the story so far. He didn't believe Jesus was the rescuer, and he didn't believe Jesus was alive either. You see, Saul had never met Jesus. So one day, Jesus met Saul. Saul was on his way to Damascus when suddenly a dazzling light flashed down from heaven like lightning. It was brighter than the sun. It was too bright. Saul shielded his eyes and fell to the ground. He heard a loud voice. It was too loud and gave Saul a headache. "Saul, Saul," said the loud voice, "why are you fighting me?" "Lord," Saul said, "who are you?" "I am Jesus," said the voice. "When you hurt my friends, you are hurting me too." Saul's whole body trembled. "Go to the city," Jesus said, "and I'll tell you what to do." When Saul opened his eyes, he couldn't see. His helpers had to hold his hand and lead him like a little child. Saul was blind for 3 whole days, unable to see anything. And yet, it was as if he was seeing for the first time. Meanwhile, there was a man called Ananias who loved Jesus. Jesus came to him in a dream. "Go to Saul and pray for him, and I will make him see again." Ananias, he knew about Saul. And he knew that Saul hated Jesus' followers. He was a little... So he said, "Lord, he has come to hurt us." But Jesus told Ananias, "Saul is the one I have chosen to preach my good news to the world." So Ananias went to Saul. He trusted God and he obeyed God. He said, "Okay, I'm afraid, but I'm going to obey God anyways." So Ananias went to Saul. "Brother Saul," Ananias said, "it was Jesus that met you on the road." And Ananias prayed for Saul. Suddenly, Saul could see again, but he saw everything differently. He wasn't mean anymore. He even changed his name from Saul to Paul, which means small and humble, the very opposite of proud. God had changed Paul's life. And do you know what Ananias means? It means the Lord is full of grace. And grace is just another word for a gift, which is funny, because that's just what Paul's message was all about from then on. It's not only about keeping all the rules, Paul told people. You don't have to be good at being good. You just have to believe what Jesus has done and follow him. Because it's not all about trying, it's about trusting. It's not all about the rules, it's about grace. God's free gift to us that cost him everything. What had happened to Paul? He met Jesus. Paul got a new job. He called himself a servant and traveled everywhere telling everyone about Jesus. He got shipwrecked not one, not two, but 3 times. He even ended up in prison. God loves us, he wrote from prison. Nothing can ever, no, not ever, separate us from the never-stopping, never giving up, unbreaking, always and forever love of God that he showed us in Jesus. And so it was, just as God promised Abraham that dark night all those years ago, the family of God's children grew and grew and grew, until one day it would come to number more than even all the stars in the sky. And you and I, we get to be a part of that same family that has been growing and growing, the family of God. Since Jesus was here and then he left and he empowered Paul to do great and mighty things, the family of God has been getting bigger and bigger and bigger. And you and I, we're a part of that same family. One of the many reasons why I love the story of Saul's transformation into Paul is because Saul was the worst of the worst. And sometimes we feel pretty bad ourselves. Sometimes we can think, man, I messed up. Man, God doesn't love me anymore. I'm so bad, God couldn't use me. But whenever you think about that, also think about Saul's life. Because he was bad. He was worse than you or I will ever be. And God looked down on Saul and he saw that. He looked past all of that. He said, I love Saul. And if he trusts me, if he turns his life around and obeys me, I'll use him to do great and mighty things. And Saul absolutely latched on to Jesus and his love and turned his life around. And you and I will always be able to do the same. If we trust God and if we obey God, just like what Saul did, he will transform us like he did into Paul and will use us to do great and mighty things. See you tomorrow.